What up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are finally getting back to work on the Z build. You see the pine needles everywhere. It's dirty. We haven't done much. We made a lot of really good progress on it, and then we both got sick, and I've been trying to start a business and a bunch of stuff, and we just stopped. So we're gonna move the Z over to the new shop, and we're gonna get it ready and start working on it, right?
Yep.
We got, it's a little dark, but you can see we got the engine right there on a furniture dolly. So we're gonna use the trucks and go through a very complicated, stupid setup just to get the engine over into the shop. But for now, we're gonna go push this over in front of it and dive into it. So let's do this. So we're in the shop. We forgot to start recording, but went to Harbor Freight, got a hoist, a chain hoist for our swing hoist, and we're gonna get it all set up. And then, what?
You said I'm gonna yawn some more.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we're gonna lift the engine up. So I'm gonna do that. Alrighty guys, so what we did is we hung this tire off the spoiler. It's a cheap spoiler, doesn't matter. We hung it off there up against the bumper and pushed it with the S10 in because we couldn't push up that in the pea gravel by ourselves. So it is officially in the shop. How do you feel, Emma?
Excited.
Excited.
Getting this done. Finally.
I'm excited to have this dope hoist. Should make test fitting the engine a heck of a lot easier.
Am I good?
If you want to.
Alright.
Yep. Actually, lower it down. Let's do this. Alright, now you can go up.
That's good.
So I'm not sure what this hoist was built to lift. It's, you know, fairly decent, but not the most overbuilt thing I've ever seen. So I'm a little bit nervous. We're definitely not for a while, not till we get way too overconfident. We're gonna roll that out to the very end, but in the middle, I'm pretty comfortable with it, and it still swings pretty good, pretty easy. So, yeah, but super excited. Just went and got that chain hoist. So, oops. We're just gonna drop the engine on the furniture dolly and get some stuff cleaned up and set up, and then we're gonna start getting ready to test fit it in the car. So we're just gonna start doing stuff and record it as we go. But we're gonna pull this motor mount off. It's a little dark. Pull that motor mount off, and that one right there. We might even be able to use the metal, the C part right here that goes around. Might be able to cut this rubber out, rotate it 90 degrees and weld to it. Not sure. The lighting is subpar in here, so we're gonna do our best. We got one LED strip up, but we don't have what we need to put the rest up, so we're just gonna start doing stuff, and I don't know what we're gonna do next, but you'll see what we're gonna do next, huh?
Yeah.
Yeet. Alrighty guys, we got the engine set in there. It is on a jack stand down there. We got motor mounts just kind of halfway bolted to the engine block, and then we are going to actually pull it back out and bolt the transmission to it. We just want to do a quick test fit tonight because we were excited. We're gonna bolt the trans to it and then get the trans sitting where it needs to be, get the engine down, get it close, and then we will actually start to line up where these motor mounts are gonna sit, and probably just gonna weld those tabs straight to the cross member and then probably just box them in and call it like that. We're never gonna put a different engine in this car. If we do, it'll be a different custom setup, and so we're just gonna cut that off and weld other mounts on. No reason to worry about stock mounts being unusable. So there we are. You happy?
I'm happy.
Alrighty, it's next day.
What?
We're both extremely tired from work, but we are going to mate the 4L80 up to the 6.0, slide it in there so that we can get a more accurate test fit so that we can start on motor mounts maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, so we're gonna mate this up, drop it all in. Probably gonna pull the stock drive shaft first. Got a few things we're gonna do, so we'll update you.
Through the highways till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on
The current issue that we're having is when the engine and trans are bolt together, the pan is hitting the cross member and the top of the trans hitting the bell housing. So I think if we raise the trans in, drop the engine in, we can bolt them together in the car. That's a temporary solution for a temporary problem, because we're going to be modifying that pan when we get further along in this build. But that is just the current situation because I want to test fit it, and that's the only way we can get it in, huh?
Yep.
So we're gonna do that and figure out how to get it done. So we have to cut these original trans mount tabs off to get the 4L80 to clear. I'm gonna do that real quick just because Emma hasn't used an angle grinder too much, and I don't really want it to bounce back and hit her in the face tonight or anything. So I'm just gonna trim that off real quick, and then we will start test fitting stuff, I guess. Alrighty, so the trans is hitting the tunnel slightly. Not that big of a deal, we just need to pull a heat shield off. But the lift arms are hitting the trans jack because it's ridiculous and in the way. So this is probably the dumbest thing I've done in a while, but we got a ratchet strap to the top bell housing bolt to a notch above the hood latch. And it looks like it's gonna hold. And you can't really see because the GoPro doesn't do well with lighting, but we've got that down around the tail shaft and around a hammer, a ratchet strap. So that should hold. Let's do this. What's up, dudes? It is another day and we are back to work on the LS280Z. So I'm running into a problem right now. I'm trying to get the engine and transmission aligned so that I can build motor mounts and cross members and have the tail shaft of the transmission pointed right at the differential, have the engine as level as I can. It's gonna sit a little bit of an angle, but that's not a big deal. Just trying to get the engine and trans kind of healthy and in good alignment with the chassis for what we need. So I bought some universal motor mounts. Pretty dark, we'll see what you can see. I don't know why the GoPro doesn't like to expose, but some universal motor mounts, they're pretty simple. But the issue I'm running into is when I get my engine and trans where they need to be, don't know how much you can see, but the motor mount sits very far behind the K-member and actually pretty close to the steering shaft right there. So what I'm gonna have to do, I've been going back and forth. I'm actually going to cut the tabs off the motor mount and slide the tabs to the edge of the motor mount plate and re-weld it to get my motor mounts just a smidge more forward, and that should give me the clearance I need and I can offset the bottom plates. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna cut it off tonight, tack weld it in place, and then put it back on and just see if we're any closer. It's already pretty late, so I'm just gonna see what I can get done. I'm gonna cut it here, cut it there, slide it to the end of the plate and re-weld it. Alrighty, so the way this motor mount was set up, these tabs had little fingers that came off and went into those rectangles. So what I did is I cut the welds and just slid it over, and then I'm going to, obviously those are very ugly tack welds, but I'm just going to weld it like that, weld it all the way around, weld it super good on this side, and we should be good to go. Obviously it's not the greatest, but it should be plenty for what we're doing. Alrighty guys, my shop is an absolute pigsty. I need to organize again, but this is honestly some of my best fab work. The welds aren't incredible, but they're decent, better than I'm used to. But we just got a piece of angle iron, some square stock, and 2 other pieces of angle iron, and that is our trans mount. Goes up onto the trans mount, and the angle iron sits inside each frame rail. And we're gonna drill a couple holes through the frame rails, throw some bolts through it, and be done. I'm pretty stinking excited. This is some decent fab work. I haven't really put much effort into fab work in the past, and it's exciting to get a little bit better at it. So it is a few weeks later. As you can see, we got a ton of snow, and we just pushed the Z back in. I can't really show you the motor mounts much because they're covered in snow. But motor mounts came out good, the trans mount came out good, and the engine and trans are officially mounted. So we're gonna leave the heater on for a little bit, see if we can get some of this snow melted, and tomorrow or the next day, we are finally going to start on the next video, which will be the engine wiring. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to stay hungry, stay humble, stay motivated. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.